So good afternoon. Thank you again for joining us for Growing Through Literacy. I am Robin Ryan, the Executive Director at Literacy Network. Thank you, Steve. It is truly a joy to be surrounded by people who care so much about adult education and our mission. We are thrilled to have 4 inspiring student speakers that you will hear from today. They will be introduced by Literacy Network staff and volunteers. First, though, I would like to start by thanking all the people who helped us make today's event possible. I'm excited to announce that the first $5,000 in donations today will be doubled thanks to a generous matching gift from Barb and Steve Ingham. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Barb and Steve for your many years of generous support of students. Thank you also to our event sponsors today. They are Basic Biotech Methods, Boardman Clark, Task, Park Bank, Tana Elias and Andrew Parkowski, Wagner CPAs, Findorf, Group Health Cooperative of South Central Wisconsin, Hausman Group, Hawks Quindell, MLC Consulting, Summit Credit Union, Tamara D. Grigsby Office for Equity and Inclusion, Woodman's, the Madison Club for this beautiful space, WORT, and Spoken Frame Media. Please join me in thanking our generous supporters. Thank you to Margaret Francino, the Literacy Network Marketing and Events Manager, for organizing this event and for sharing amazing stories throughout the year with our community. She does an amazing job. I hope all of you have the chance to meet her and thank her in person. Where is Jane McGowan? Right here. Thank you. Sorry to announce it that way. Thank you to Jane McGowan. She is our Director of Development and she is retiring later this year. Yeah, ooh, I agree. But thank you for Jane. She started her relationship with Literacy Network as a donor before she joined the team. And she saw us through COVID, significant increases in student enrollment, expansion of our Learning Center, and a merger with a nonprofit. Thank you, Jane, for everything you do, for your skill, your grace, and your dedication. You will be impossible to replace. Literacy Network is also deeply grateful to have the long-term support of Madison Community Foundation. Madison Community Foundation provides essential support that makes positive, lasting change in Madison and Dane County. In May, we were honored to be featured at their annual Madison Gives event. For the event, we collaborated to create a beautiful video highlighting our mission and programs and impact that supporters like you make. We will start today's program by sharing the video with you.
Being here, not speaking English, it's frustrating.
And as an immigrant that did not speak the language, I was afraid of making mistakes. I was feeling very isolated, like that I was not in control.
It's very difficult for people to thrive in this community or even survive if there is a language barrier. There are 50,000 folks in Dane County that are struggling with literacy.
You need to have that literacy skill. If you didn't get it as a child, it's hard to do that when you have job and family responsibilities. Literacy Network focuses on that one area, literacy for free for all adults in Dane County.
Literacy Network has been a vital part of the Madison community since 1974, helping adults build the literacy and language skills they need to fully participate in daily life.
Literacy Network is a really special place because we work on several levels. We are supporting students in achieving their own individual literacy skill goals, which will help them do whatever they want to do in life. And we all come together in this place to build a community where the students, the staff, and the volunteers support each other. And that makes it a really wonderful experience for everybody.
I want a better job. I want to explore higher education. Learning English and being able to communicate and say things in my own words, even if it's not perfect, gives you control of your life.
Each year, 1,400 learners take part in small classes and personalized tutoring to learn to read and write, develop computer skills, earn diplomas or degrees, advance careers, improve their English language skills, or become U.S. citizens.
Students come to Literacy Network because they feel like they belong, they feel like people care about them, and they can take classes or have tutoring sessions in a way that fits into their life.
Class is free. The lesson is very, very good. I'm very appreciate the way they teach in the class.
After a few classes, my dad, who was 52, he decided to join and he came to classes too. When somebody in the family goes and become bilingual, you are able to do more stuff for your family. That means everything for an immigrant.
Literacy Network was one of the first local nonprofits to establish an endowment at Madison Community Foundation. Over the years, foundation grants made possible by the collective generosity of our community have helped fuel the organization's growth. In 2024, a community impact grant supported its merger with Omega School, which helps students earn high school equivalency credentials. Together, they are expanding opportunities and streamlining support for adult learners across Dane County.
Omega School is a wonderful opportunity for Literacy Network, and it was something that Madison Community Foundation was actually one of the original sponsors of our project to merge. It's been wonderful to be able to sustain Omega School as a program. It's been around for 50 years. It's well known in the community that it's a good place to get a GED. And by merging together, we're opening pathways for students to move between lots of different programs as they acquire new skills.
We are extremely proud to be able to support the Literacy Network in the work that they're doing within the community. Now more than ever, we know that we have citizens here within Madison that need this support, and Literacy Network is here to provide it.
The Literacy Network's mission has never been more vital. Every lesson, every tutoring session, every achievement builds individual confidence and a stronger, more connected community.
There's no question that Literacy Network has had a huge impact on the community. There are countless examples of people gaining employment, getting good, solid jobs. You know, this is the proverbial American dream, and that's why it's so important.
Why do you become citizen? To vote and run for office. So we can vote now and run for the office.
I'm very happy. I work hard.
It's like something very heavy just went down and we are free.
Yeah.
It was a big step in our life.
I own an immigration law office with my husband. We also provide educational sessions about immigration law in English and Spanish. The business just turned 12 and we just expand to a different county. I invest a lot of time in different board of directors and groups, and I volunteer, I consult, and I really enjoy it now to be able to do that.
I hope that Literacy Network remains a place that is welcoming to students from everywhere. I see lots of opportunities for us to expand programs for college readiness and certificate programs so they can go on and work towards the goals that they want for their own life.
I decided to be a tutor because I want to give back.
Give back what you receive.
Yeah.
The one thing I always hear is you get more out of it than you put in. I think that's a universal truth.
Literacy Network has been around for 50 years supporting students in achieving their goals. And with community support, volunteers, and donors, we know that we will continue to help students achieve their dreams for years to come.
You know, we came here with so many dreams, but when you're here, you realize how hard it is. And learning English, and you see all these people there helping you, is just incredible. I just have to say thank you. They really change our lives. They do.
With the steadfast support of volunteers, donors, and partners, Literacy Network will continue to transform lives and light the way toward a brighter, more inclusive future for all.
Thank you again to Madison Community Foundation, to David and Camille. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Pete and Cecilia for being featured in our video. We appreciate that as well. So this annual lunch is an opportunity for Literacy Network to share student achievements and agency successes with current supporters and introduce the agency to people who are not yet familiar with our work. I'm going to take the time to highlight several of our programs today, including Citizenship, Refugee Services, and Omega School. So let's start with Citizenship. The program is robust. We celebrate new citizens on a weekly basis. This morning, before I left on the chat, a new citizen was announced, and apparently somebody else has their interview this afternoon. So demand for citizenship classes results from a confluence of several factors. First, we have seen high levels of immigration to our region in recent decades. This means that the number of lawful permanent residents who are eligible to apply for citizenship is increasing. 2 years ago in October, there were 11,000 lawful permanent residents in the Madison area who were eligible to apply for citizenship. Yesterday, I checked the data dashboard, and there are now over 13,000. Second, federal law enforcement actions targeting immigrants make it urgent for lawful permanent residents to obtain the rights of citizenship. And third, as many of you are aware, Literacy Network received its first ever direct federal grant in 2023 to support citizenship classes. That grant helped us expand services and reach more people. Unfortunately, our citizenship federal grant was abruptly terminated in March of this year. Bad news, but we were heartened by the local response to the news of the grant termination. Local media organizations shared student stories about their citizenship journeys and the impact of our classes. We received donations from new donors interested in supporting citizenship students, and we were extremely grateful for a gift from a local philanthropic organization targeted at filling funding gaps left by termination of the citizenship grant and other federal grant cuts. So I want to take a moment to talk about why the citizenship services are so needed. Citizenship applicants are tested in an interview with an immigration officer in English. They must answer civics and history questions that use difficult vocabulary for an English learner, such as Star-Spangled Banner and 10th Amendment, Federalist Papers. Applicants must also be able to converse about information on their application, including detailed travel, work, residential history, relationships with other people. Again, the whole interview is in English. Our program helps people prepare for the interview with a class that covers all of the civics and history questions, as well as potential questions about a student's application. Once a student has an interview date, they can also work one-on-one with a tutor to practice for the interview. There are new challenges ahead for citizenship applicants. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services just increased the number of civics and history questions applicants must learn from 100 to 128. Staff are already preparing lessons that cover the new questions and also helping students practice about answering questions about whether they have good moral character should the Citizenship and Immigration Services follow through with efforts to make it more difficult to show good moral character. Amidst the doom and gloom, to provide perspective, Literacy Network staff and our amazing citizen volunteers have experienced pendulum swings on immigration policy and changes to the test before, and they are prepared to support students through the current changes. Another area where dramatic changes in federal policies are affecting students is in our refugee program. Over the course of 2023 and 24, 232 newly arrived refugees enrolled in classes at Literacy Network. In 2024, we started a class specifically for Afghan women. We'll hear more about that class from Aina and Royana. This year, the federal government largely shut the door to new refugees. This is devastating for refugees who are in the process of coming to the U.S. and those who had hoped to. The halt to refugee resettlement is also a problem for us on a funding level because federal funding for English instruction for refugees is based on the number of new arrivals in the prior 2 years. So even though we will not see new arrivals, we know that refugees who are currently in classes will continue their studies well beyond 2 years. So I'll shift a little bit and be a little more optimistic now. by talking about our Omega School merger. The short update on Omega School is that the merger went really well, and we were quickly able to shift our focus to enhancing the high school completion programming that we offer through both agencies. Perhaps the greatest testament to the success of the merger is that all of the Omega staff continued on with Literacy Network, and we have maintained Omega's connections in the community. We serve students with a variety of educational backgrounds in our newly combined high school completion programming. Some of the students are 17 or 18 years old. They are not on track to complete high school, and with a little support from us, they are able to pass the GED test and obtain a high school credential so they do not enter adulthood significantly disadvantaged against their peers. Others are well into adulthood and need to obtain a high school credential to improve their job prospects. With the combination of our two agencies, we now have multiple choices for students studying for a high school credential. They can work with an instructor up to 4 days a week. They can meet with a tutor once a week. They can take the GED tests in English or in Spanish, or they can have tutoring support through high school equivalency classes at the college. They can work intensely and obtain their GED in a month or two, or they can work for a much longer time frame and fit studies into their schedule. We have the options to study in the day, evening, on weekends. The point is that programming is flexible to meet the needs of students. We are building new pathways between our programs. This summer, our Spanish language GED instructor at Omega contacted Spanish-speaking students in our English classes who had identified a long-term goal of obtaining their high school diploma. We now have 11 students who have signed up to work on their Spanish GED with our instructor, and 5 are actively making progress. And this is all due to that pathway and that warm handoff between our programs. So the need for our high school equivalency programs is not decreasing. Widely publicized elementary and secondary school test results released this month show that less than half of students statewide are performing at grade level in math and reading. Clearly, those students who are not at grade level need help now while they're in school. But if they age out of high school without a diploma or without the skills expected of a high school graduate, they will need job support as adults in order to find good jobs. Right now, over 70% of jobs across the country require a high school diploma or greater education. And in Wisconsin, the median hourly wage for a worker who has a high school credential is 43% greater than the wages of someone who does not have that diploma. So expansion and diversification of our high school completion programming with the Omega merger is the foundation we need to meet current and future demand among adults to support their goal for obtaining a high school credential. So my last update today is not about a particular program, it's about how Literacy Network students are faring in the anti-immigration climate promoted by leading federal officials. The vast majority of our students are immigrants. This year, to counter the negative rhetoric about immigrants, it has been especially important to maintain Literacy Network as a welcoming and safe space. We survey students every summer to learn how best to respond to student needs and priorities. On the screen, you will see shortly several student responses to the question, what do you like about Literacy Network? Some of the comments refer to comfort, belonging, community. Students feel welcome at Literacy Network. Attendance rates in classes this year have been consistent with prior years, demonstrating that our students who are immigrants are still focused on obtaining education and skills that will help them achieve a better life for themselves and their families, despite any concerns or fear about being swept up in indiscriminate immigration and law enforcement actions. The majority of our students have goals related to employment, and they are achieving their goals. 83% maintained or advanced their employment last year, and 24% got a new job, promotion, increased responsibility, or a job with benefits. In addition to offering classes open to the public, we partner with employers to provide English classes at the employer's work site on work time. This arrangement is a win for students who are able to improve their skills on work time, and it is very effective workforce training and retention for employers. We are pleased to be in the 3rd and 4th year, respectively, of workplace partnerships with 2 manufacturing companies in Dane County. One now provides multiple classes at different skill levels to serve both employees who are newer to class and those who have already made significant gains in their English skills. Across the agency, our English classes range from basic level up to a high level class for students transitioning to college or career certification programs. 30% of our students have a university degree and had a professional career in their home country. For them, English is the job training they need to obtain quality employment. We are so pleased to celebrate with our transition program students who have obtained jobs in their fields. This includes in healthcare, accounting. We have a chemist at the State Lab of Hygiene, a researcher at a biotech company. So I hope that today's event provides a good overview of the variety of Literacy Network adult education programs for immigrants, refugees, and lifelong U.S. citizens. The common thread in our programming is that Literacy Network programs are free to students and that students come to Literacy Network because education is fundamental to achieving the quality of life they want for themselves and their families. Literacy Network thrives because we have skilled and caring volunteers, loyal donors, dedicated board members, and amazing staff. Thank you all for everything you do. Together with the students, we form what I believe to be an almost utopian community of caring and impact. If you are not already part of this community and are looking for a way to make a positive impact, please join us in some capacity. It is now my privilege to introduce the next portion of our program, our student speakers. This afternoon, each student will be introduced by a staff person or volunteer who knows them well. I am pleased to first welcome Ruth Robarts, one of our longest standing volunteers, to the podium to introduce our first student speaker. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you very much. I will introduce the first student speaker after a few comments. I have volunteered at Literacy Network for 15 years so far. So I want to warn you, it is somewhat addictive to volunteer. People say that, and it's true, because when you're not doing it, you miss the students very much. However, volunteering is more than that. Volunteering a few hours a week to help adults meet their personal goals is a growth opportunity. It nurtures the volunteers as well as the students. It builds a sense of community that lasts longer than the semester. I started volunteering in the ESL program, which is where all volunteer tutors start. I have mostly volunteered in the citizenship program. This year, 2025, the program is setting a new record. It has helped 57 students become U.S. citizens, and the year is not over. To give you a sense of the program's long-term impact, I can tell you that I have worked as a tutor and teacher with 143 new U.S. citizens. That is my good fortune, but it is not the total number of new citizens that the program has helped. That's a small part of it. And I want you to please consider yourself either volunteering or finding a friend, a relative, or whatever who might like to volunteer with us. There are two very good reasons to volunteer at Literacy Network. First, Literacy Network supports its volunteer tutors. It has staff to train and advise tutors. You can talk to Jill Stendahl. Where's Jill? Jill, okay. who is our volunteer manager, or you can call the school for more information. Second, tutoring enriches your life. You meet good people. Some are Americans who have not had the full advantage of a good education. Others have come as immigrants or refugees in the hope of improving the futures for their families. You have a chance to show these good people the respect that they deserve as people. You take an interest in their future and you learn much from their courage and kindness. Ami is an excellent representative of the students. I am happy to introduce her. Ami has a vision for her family and herself, and she works to achieve it every day, day after day, year after year. She shows us some of the beauty of her culture and religion. I help her with reading and writing. That's just my good luck. Ami?
Hello everyone. My name is Ami. I am from Gambia. I speak my own language, Jola, and different language, Mandinka. And I didn't speak English before Literacy Network. In Gambia, I didn't go to school. Literacy Network was my first experience. When I came to the United States 2014, a friend of mine told me about Literacy Network. I don't have money to pay to go to school to learn English. Literacy Network helping people for free English classes. That's why I joined. The first time I started a group class, the teacher came in, took me to the different room because it's so hard for me to understand, so hard for me to speak. And she took me individual, one-on-one with a tutor, Eva. I worked with my tutor, Eva, for 6 years, 2016, 2022. And I also joined online classes. I love the class. The teacher's so kind and so patient. It's so hard to teach someone who doesn't know anything. You need to be patient. They make me feel comfortable, excited to do more English classes. Now, I speak English with my children's teachers. Before, when I went to parent-teacher conference, they have to have interpreter. When I went to doctor's appointment, they have to call interpreter. Now I can do it. At work, I use English because everybody around me, they're not speaking my language. I will encourage the others can sign up Literacy Network because Literacy Network will make me who I am today. And I don't have anything to say, just thank you, thanks Literacy Network. Pray to continue to helping others for the free English classes. And I also would like to thank the tutor who worked with me, Miss Eva Bellenjun. She so worked hard for me. So I will thank Miss Ruth and thank all of the Literacy Network teachers. Thank you all of Literacy Network teachers. They're doing a lot to me for my life. Thank you so much, everyone who came in here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Ezzy Adesi, and I have the great privilege of serving as the director of Omega School of Literacy Network. It's a true honor to be here and to acknowledge a very special Omega School alumnus. As you all know, Omega School became part of Literacy Network this past January, joining forces to improve the quality of life and provide life-changing opportunities for adults in Dane County, where an estimated 31,000 adults still, of the age of 25 and beyond, lack a high school diploma. So the work is not done. We're nearly 10 months into this transition, and it's been an amazing thing to see how natural our two organizations have come together. It's exactly what we thought it would be at this point in time. I'm proud to share that since we reopened after summer break in August, our students have passed a total of 25 official GED tests. So that's a lot in a very short bit of time if you understand the rigor and the difficulty of a GED exam. It means that Omega School is still working after 50 years, and more students are nearing graduation. The coming together of our two organizations makes even more sense when you consider the many success stories of Omega School graduates. Stories of willpower, resilience, and transformation. One of those stories belonged to the man you'll meet in a moment. Nearly 30 years ago, Lewis earned his GED at Omega School. Since then, he has built a successful career, first as an EMT, and now as a very successful insurance agent. He often credits that strong foundation at Omega as the spark that set him on his path. Lewis's story is more than a personal triumph. It's a reminder of what is possible when students are given support, structure, encouragement, and love. It's why we do the work. His journey gives me great excitement for our current students as well as our future students. So it's my honor to introduce a friend of mine, a brother, Lewis Bentley.
To the Literacy Network, Omega School, and attendees of the luncheon, good afternoon. My name is Lewis Bentley. I'm born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm a graduate of Omega School. I have a beautiful wife, 3 lovely children, and I'm also a new grandfather as of June of this year. My children are Sadie, Devin, and Luca, and my grandson is Kason Bentley. I started taking classes at Omega in January of 1997, and I graduated later that year in June at the same time as my home school's graduating class. One thing I realized when I look back at that part of my life is that my mom and dad worked closely with Oscar to hold me accountable at a time in my life when I was not holding myself accountable. If I was late, they would be on the phone when I arrived. If I skipped, they would already have spoken, and it was not easy for me to get away with anything. That, I think, is key to my success at Omega. My parents were involved and only expected the best for me, and so did Oscar. My father, Michael Bentley, is here today. You stand up real quick there. At a point in my life when I wasn't holding myself accountable, my parents, along with the school, made sure I would be accountable. They did this by communicating with each other and by also letting me know that they were speaking to each other on a daily basis. Since I graduated, I attended MATC. I have worked in the insurance world and obtained various state and federal insurance and investment licensing. I now am a multi-line insurance agency owner that has staff at an office here in Monona. I purchased my first home in 2010 and my second home up north earlier this year. I know many I know many great people that have achieved some kind of success, whether it's business ownership, whether it's some kind of success, that are also Omega School graduates. Fontanius Webb, a dear friend of mine. Fon, can you stand up? Fon is a successful business owner that owns a salon in Madison, an investor in real estate. Omega is the platform for us to achieve this success. Along with the support from my family and Oscar, this program deserves all due respect and grace from me. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. Next up, my colleague, Ina. Where are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ina Langendijk. I'm the Refugee Services Manager at Literacy Network. I am here today to introduce one of my students. Her name is Royana Ahmadi. She is a very loyal student in our Afghan Women's ESL group class. We started our Afghan Women's Group ESL group class a little over a year ago in the summer of 2024. A lot of the Afghan families had already arrived in Wisconsin 3 years earlier, and we realized that we weren't engaging the women in this group in our regular programming, and this had various reasons. Most of the women did not have transportation, they have little children, so it's very challenging to attend in-person classes away from their homes. Additionally, many never went to school in their home country, so they face extra learning challenges. They never learned how to read and write in their own language, let alone in English. Most importantly, they are not comfortable in mixed gender settings, so they weren't attending our regular classes because most of them are mixed. We have men and women attend the class. For these reasons, we started this women's group ESL class. The class is close to where they live at Northport Apartments. We offer childcare even for the youngest children, and we focus on pre-literate students. So we really start from the ground up. This class started very small, but word of mouth went really fast in this community, and we now have 25 women enrolled in this class. These classes are very lively. We focus on conversation, and we also focus on literacy instruction. And progress has been slow but steady. What I've seen in the class over the course of a year is I have seen women get comfortable holding a pencil. I have seen women moving from tracing letters to copying words. And I have even seen some students write and read English, very basic English, independently. English vocabulary has increased, and so has confidence. And I notice it when I come into Northport Apartments and the women see me and how they greet me in English very comfortably. It's great to see. Royana arrived in the United States in August of last year. She joined the ESL Women's Group in the fall semester of last year, so she has completed now a full year of instruction. Royana values education highly, and her motivation is strong. I'm very impressed with her progress in the class. She can now read and write basic English sentences. She is always happy to support other students who are struggling more in the class. And most of all, I love having her bubbly personality in the class. She's always lifting everyone's spirits up and keep learning going in the class. It's with great pleasure to introduce Royana Ahmadi to you.
in the name of Allah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Royana. I'm from Afghanistan. I go to English class or Narport 1 year. My teacher is Hannah. She is a very good woman. I like my teacher because she teaches us well. I'm sorry. Okay. I learned in reading, I learned in writing, I learned in conversation. Okay, English helped me because I go to hospital, I go to shopping. I don't have a job, I want a job, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. I like my teacher.
I like her too. Thank you so much, Royana. Next up is my colleague, Alejandra.
I'm a little nervous, sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Alejandra Muñoz Contreras, Literacy Network Student Services Manager. Today is my honor to introduce Marlon Chara. I met Marlon for the first time 3 years ago, and I still remember that day. He walked into the building with a big smile, full of enthusiasm and excitement to start classes. He signed up for the first class that day, since he has almost perfect attendance, first in the group class and now with his personal tutor. As part of the student services team, I get to be one of the first people to students like Marlon meet when they come to Literacy Network. My team and I are the first people students see when they walk through the door. We work hard to make sure the students feel welcome and supported. We talk with them about their goals and help them find the best class to reach these goals. We connect with the community resources so they can overcome obstacles and succeed in class. Many of our team members are current or former Literacy Network students and immigrants ourselves, and can share our experience with the students. Together, we speak English, French, Arabic, and Spanish, so the students can just begin and feel more comfortable and confident getting started. Everyone on the student services teams know Marlon. He loves to stop by and chat with us when he comes to the class, and he always so positive. I am proud of how he pushed himself to talk with others in English, and thus has helped his language skills grow so much. I'm excited for everyone to hear from him today. Can you pass, Marlon?
Thank you everyone for coming. My name is Marlon Chara. I'm a student English and Literacy Network for 3 years. I'm from Colombia. Colombia has a nice thing, for example, the food, dance, beautiful places, friendly people. But I decided to leave to Colombia for myself. I love Madison. I remember my first winter. I hate a little bit because I don't have a car. I need to walk, but now it's fine. A friend told me about Literacy Network. I decided to take class because it's one necessary. In the United States, everyone speaks English. Everything is English. So I need to communicate with others for work, for hospital, for everything. I love it, Literacy Network. I like my tutor personal, the space, the staff. My first tutor was Nate Gray. He was always happy. he shared his happiness with his students. All the staff at Literacy Network always smile and brighten. They always help me when I needed something in class, between class, or outside class. I love my personal tutor because he has his life, but he still has time to, but I still his time to, he is tired to work someone he never met before. Also, every young male friend in Literacy Network, last semester, I met a friend from Africa. He didn't speak Spanish, he didn't speak English, but right now, he is my friend. In my opinion, Literacy Network is very, very important because I see a lot of people studying English here from every place. They know nothing about English. And at Literacy Network, they started to learn English. In my case, I knew nothing about English, but right now I can speak, I can write, I can understand. All my English is from Literacy Network. I feel better than when I started. My class helped me a lot, especially in my job. In my job, everyone speaks English. 1 year and a half, I use interpreter. But right now, I can speak with my manager. In my future, I want to live in peace, a simple life. I don't want to be a famous or have a special life. I want to be a father, a husband, a friend. I want to have my own business. When you pass away, if you have a lot of things, a lot of money, you lose everything. In my opinion, these simple things in your life make life special. For example, when you spend time with your family or with your child, with your friend, for you to be happy, you don't need a lot of money, a big house, an expensive car. You just need people who love you, people who care about you. That's what you need. I'm grateful and appreciate everything at Literacy Network. Thank you, everyone, for supporting this beautiful place.
Thank you, Marlon, and all the students and staff and volunteers who spoke today. Your stories are what brings everybody here together, and it's why everybody supports Literacy Network and why we exist. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you to the staff and volunteers. Will staff who are present today please stand so we can thank you. We have an amazing board dedicated to making sure this agency continues. If you are a board member, will you please stand? Thank you. And one last thank you. We have a lot of people helping us today. If you are a table captain, will you please just raise your hand so people at your table know you are indeed their table captain. Thank you all. So our last speaker this afternoon is Doug Keeler. Doug joined the board 2 years ago and has proven himself to be an invaluable asset. He brings a wealth of experience with his long career in education, and we are so fortunate to have his expertise, his dedication, and his enthusiasm. Welcome, Doug.
Right, I feel increased pressure to be enthusiastic now. Robin, thank you. The staff, thank you. The volunteers, the students. Can we just hear it one more time for the stories you heard today? As Robin shared, I'm Doug Keeler. I currently serve as the Vice President of the Literacy Network Board of Directors. 5 years ago, I retired from Madison Teachers, Inc. after a 30-year career supporting Madison Public School teachers. Today, like Lewis, I'm a partially retired worker supporting Wisconsin school children, but I'm playing with my grandchildren the other part of my day. When I leave here, I'm going to join a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old in lawn chairs in our front yard and watch the church across the street be re-roofed with a big crane. It's not a bad gig. The fact that I've been blessed with a career supporting educators is actually somewhat ironic, given the fact that I dropped out of high school during my senior year. When I dropped out, I was working third shift at a local grocery store on the south side of town, actually just down the street from where Ezzy works at Omega School. And a few years into my grocery career after dropping out, I decided to look for an exit ramp. And I thought, maybe I should give school another shot. Perhaps college would be different for me than high school, and perhaps I had changed in that period of time too. I completed a test for my high school equivalency degree called the HSED, enrolled in my first college at METC, and actually discovered I really enjoyed learning. METC led to UW-Madison. My HSED led to a bachelor's degree, and about 7 years after returning to school, I exited the UW with a master's degree in labor relations and the beginning of a career working with public school teachers. While I did not personally need the support of the Literacy Network or Omega School during my journey to earn my HSED, hundreds of others, including some you heard from today, walking their own path, have greatly benefited from this support. And for many, this support is critical. That's a big reason why I agreed to volunteer with the Literacy Network and why I support their work financially. So here's the big closer, the big closer, the big ask, all right? Today, I want to ask for your support as well. Financial support through private donations makes a huge difference to the Literacy Network's bottom line. It helps ensure the continuation of the great work that everyone's doing. As Robin shared earlier, this is an extreme financial uncertainty, a time of extreme financial uncertainty, increased challenges faced by our immigrant neighbors. It's even more important than ever to give locally to support programs that empower immigrants, build citizenship, and help people feel welcome in the United States. Donors can be confident that the Literacy Network is stewarding resources responsibly and effectively. The Literacy Network consistently receives top ratings from Charity Navigator, Candid, great nonprofits. It's a proud partner of United Way of Dane County, Madison Community Foundation, the City of Madison, and Dane County. At your place, at your table, you'll find a donation envelope and a pledge sheet that includes a donation link and QR code. We invite you to consider how you can make a lasting difference with the level of support that works best for you. As you heard earlier today, your gift today will have double the impact thanks to a generous matching gift from Barb and Steve Ingham. They'll match it up to $5,000. Are you able to support students each year with an annual gift over the next 5 years? If so, please determine your annual amount and indicate your level of support. I personally am one of more than 70 monthly donors provided steady support for students. If you're able to join us with a sustaining gift, please indicate that commitment on the pledge sheet or make your first donation using the QR code on the pledge sheet. We also welcome one-time gifts. All donations can be made using the QR code, our website, or by check. If you're able to do that today, please hand your pledge sheet and donation envelope to your table captain and table 19. I'll be back there real quickly. 100% of today's event proceeds directly support Literacy Network students and help them achieve their individual goals of improving English, supporting their children, obtaining a job or promotion, finishing high school or college, or gaining citizenship. So thank you all for being here this afternoon to help Literacy Network students achieve those goals through the support of the wonderful and caring staff at Literacy Network. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for believing in the power of adult literacy education, and thank you for your support of Literacy Network.